You're listening to His Empire of Dirt by Pearlandpine. Chapter 14. Michael Afton has a panic attack about time travel. Henry's away at church this morning, and Mike has concocted a few plans for the day. Number 1, blind himself. With vinegar or bleach, maybe. And if that fails, just drive a knife into his eyeballs. Number 2, burn the apartment down. It's really the most practical course of action. He's gonna burn his dad down no less than 2 times anyway. Maybe a 3rd time, the charm will finally come to fruition. Number 3, talk to himself in the mirror and convince himself he is not crazy for thinking it's even worse that Dad and Henry are going at it with each other than if they weren't. Number 4, repeat over and over again. Dad and Henry are not F-wording each other, because he cannot bring himself to say the full word in this context, and maybe the idea will come true. Number 5, scream into a pillow. Number 6, probably cry a bit, as is customary. Number 7, laugh it off. Really, it's all a bit funny, isn't it? Number 8, cry some more. Harder this time. Number 9, holy fucking shit, how are Dad and Uncle Henry lovers? Ew, 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 ew. And he cannot emphasize this enough. Ew. And number 10, pray that his brain finally suppresses once for something in his fucking life. Note, the things above will not take place in the order listed. Mike can barely handle waking up in the morning, so please give the kid a break. Before Henry leaves for church, though, he catches Mike's eye and immediately starts apologizing. "I'm so sorry, Fritz," he says, the words spilling forth like vomit. "I never wanted you to—" "It's fine," Mike blurts, because he really doesn't want to talk about it. Are you sure?" "Yes, super sure. Never been surer of anything in my life." At that, Henry lightens up, oblivious to Mike's own discomfort. "Really? Great. I thought you'd be disgusted with me." "Nope. Nada. Zip. You're good." I didn't even know. You know, when you look at a girl and you just think, wow, that was what I thought when I interviewed, and then when he started being so cruel to me, I thought there's definitely not a chance. But now that I know, it's like it's even scarier. Mike senses Henry's distress. He finally calms. With his favorite person in the world upset, there is bigger fish to fry than the realization that Dad and Henry... no, he still can't finish that thought. "What do you mean?" "Well, you know, you can't be like this. There was a church back home. There was someone in my hometown, and they found out he preferred men. Even his own parents ostracized him. He ended up killing himself. But everyone knows that it wasn't suicide. He wouldn't have done that. Even after everything. We know someone did it. I can't imagine what the hell they would all think back home. What my own folks would think. I'm supposed to be a good big brother. A role model. I can't be like this. But with William, it feels easy. It feels like nothing's wrong. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was only once, and it happened so quick, but he was different. He let me touch him. He's never done that before." Mike hadn't even considered that. The girls William went out with would never hold a candle to him strength-wise. Thus he could be comfortable around them. Sure that they wouldn't bruise and demean him. Henry, though, had proven that he could hurt William in return. In the future, he will show William that he too can kill one of his children, that he can burn William alive more effectively than anybody. Why would William allow himself to be vulnerable around Henry? Unless it was all a ploy to further his control over him, which honestly seemed entirely plausible. But last night, when William was joking about the ordeal to Mike, he didn't seem villainous. He seemed like a boy with a crush on someone he's never should have liked. You're not wrong for liking a boy, Henry, Mike says earnestly. It's fucked up that you can't like who you want to like. It's not your fault. You're born like that. Are you? Henry seems so small now, despite his stature. Are you sure? I promise. Mike cannot lie to Henry any longer. I promise, Henry. You won't go to hell for liking boys. How can you... I just know. Okay? Why would... He swallows down his doubts and complaints and plays to his audience. Why would God make you like that if he wanted you to doubt yourself? Isn't everything he makes perfect? Henry pauses, slowly considering. I think you're right. I still can't tell anyone, though. Just you. When Henry lifts his head, there are tears in the corners of his eyes, but he's smiling broader than he ever has. I know I sound like a broken record, but thank you for being my friend, Fritz. It really has meant the world to me. Henry leaves, and Mike stands there, still as a statue. It means the world to be Henry's friend, but it's not enough. He looks to William's room, where he has remained. It can't just mean the world. It has to save lives. Mike sighs. Easy enough. Mike knocks on William's door. The threat of his animatronic father has become more existential, something like global warming or nuclear winter. He can do nothing to stop it, so he can only focus on the present. He can only focus on making sure William Afton is decent. It is with this knocking that Mike comes upon a horrible realization. It should have worked by now. Unless he gets pulled into the future, present, whatever, immediately, before William commits a horrible deed, then this quest already should have worked. Mike shouldn't be scooped in the future, and children don't get killed. William Afton is a doting father who would never hurt a fly. It doesn't matter what I do. He already is making Bonnie. He already begun a relationship with Henry. He doesn't change, even when I'm here. It makes Mike hyperventilate. Maybe he's overthinking it. After all, he doesn't really and never will understand time travel. The whole thing is paradoxical. If he fixes the past, then he never goes into the past, and then none of this happens. Maybe falling into the ball pit always happens. It always happens. Mike can't breathe. Mike was always in Dad's life, he realizes. Dad just doesn't fucking care. Dad is always a monster. Mike can't breathe. Fuck. He hates the panic attacks that are accustomed to this body, and not his last one. It should have worked. It shouldn't. It. Coming, William says from behind the door. He opens it, his forehead beaded with sweat. He's been working out, like he does every morning. It's only solidified by the way he's stretching his arms, staring at his own muscles, scanning for imperfection. When he opens his mouth, he flicks his tongue against his chipped canine, and it appears sharp now, deadly, like he could tear into someone's throat and rip them apart. His eyes widen in shocking concern. Fritz? You all right? You... Mike blinks. And he's back there. He's back in the diner. No, he's back at home. And he just killed his brother, and he deserves to be hurt. Please don't hurt me. He cannot count the number of times he has begged his father for that. William raises his hands innocently and takes a step forward when Mike stumbles back. I won't hurt you, Fritz. How kind of person do you think I am? A psychopath, a murderer, a monster. Why did you... He desperately needs to focus on the present so that he does not drown. Why did you let Henry touch you? William minutely rolls his eyes. When two people like each other very much... No, you don't let people touch you. I see it. Only your days. Or when you touch them first. You don't... William blushes. I enjoy his company. I thought he was handsome ever since I interviewed him. He looks at me like I am... The words trail off, and Mike uses all of his coherent brain power to fill in the blanks. Henry regards William like he is human. No one aside from Mike ever treated William like he was human. Not his parents, not the boys on his block. What about Clara? What about Isabella? Oh, Matt? William laughs a bit. I don't mind if he goes out with her. I do plan on taking Clara out. It's the only thing in the world we'll let us do, Fritz. You've got to understand. Is this how you start breaking Mom? By lying to her? By making Henry lie to her? You shouldn't lead her on like that. He sighs. I wasn't gonna lead her on. It's completely normal to be interested in more than one person at once, Fritz. Seriously, mate, what is going on with you? You're turning purple. Mike wants to laugh at the irony, but he can't. He can't even breathe. Christ, what did your old man do to you that made you act like this? Everything! Mike snaps. And now he can't stop. He wants to kill William in front of him, but he can't. So he falls onto the couch and clutches his arms to himself. He did everything. Even if he didn't. If he just did one thing, he shouldn't have. But he should have, because I deserved it. Stop. William's staring at Mike now, and with a curled fist he grabs his collar and forces Mike to look at him. Mike's ready for a thrashing. But instead, the coldness behind William's gaze is not coerced by anything he'd done. Don't you fucking say that you deserve it. I did. Did I deserve it, Fritz? Did any of us bastards deserve it? No. Eh? So what the hell makes you so special that you did? I killed him, Mike wails. Because William already knows. William should punish him now for the horrible thing Mike did. William should just about kill him. I deserve it. You haven't killed anyone yet, but I did. Fritz. It would be horrible enough an encounter with anyone. But here Mike is, next to the younger version of his father that drives these thoughts in his head in the first place. Now, though, William has only known him barely a month. They're friends. And that's all. They're not the type of people that spill their greatest secrets to each other. They're not the kind of people that would die for each other. They're very good acquaintances at best, annoyed roommates at worst. William Afton is not the kind of person that provides comfort. And Michael Afton is not the kind of person that accepts it. The entire scenario has already been riddled with paradoxes, but Mike cannot help but startle when William sits next to him and awkwardly wraps an arm around Mike's shoulder. Do you want me to speak of other things? Mike cautiously nods. Well, I don't have many pleasant memories to speak of, but I'll try my best. Let's see. Well, when I was little, I had this imaginary friend. Mike's heart stops beating, and his head fogs. And he's back there, in post-war London, giving William Afton his first ever friend. I was an ugly child, you see. People did not take to me. Father beat me, and Mother was hesitant to even call me hers. Who would ever want to be friends with me? I was shy and repulsive, and had terrible thoughts. So, my brain gave me an imaginary friend. I don't remember what I called him. I don't even remember what he looked like. I only know he existed because Mum told me to stop thinking of him. But once, I sat by the Thames, and the both of us skipped stones together. And for the first time in my life, I did not... William pauses. I am very scared of death, Fritz. Very scared. I have never wanted to die. But that instant was the first time in my young life in which I actually wanted to live. Do you have anything like that? Mike sluggishly nods. With Jeremy. That's typically how it goes, isn't it? He's just coaxing information out of me so that he can fix me. Because he thinks we're just alike. Because, Fritz, why are you kind? After everything we have been through, both of us, I cannot manage it. I don't deserve to be cruel, he candidly admits. I don't deserve to ever be a villain. Why the hell not? I killed... No! Do not talk about that. Do not talk about death. It is a new law of the universe. One will not speak of death in front of thee, William Afton. You killed someone, sure. You're here, though. You are with me. Does that not count for anything? You would not be alive if it didn't. I tried not to be. Mike shuts his mouth. He can't talk about it. He can't. Oh. The silence is too terrible. So Mike inquires, why are you so scared of dying? Because it is unknown, and I do not like to be ignorant. I know everything here. Yeah. Fritz, I'll make you a promise. We'll be immortal together, and we'll outlive our bastard fathers. And no one will ever hurt us again. No one will hurt us again. Mike doesn't nod. Instead, he does nothing. How can you not be scared of dying? It's dreadful. Because I am so tired. And I miss them all so much. Mike figures that he can spill all of this to his father. Because it doesn't matter. Nothing changes. He'll work at a shit minimum wage job once more and wake up in a burning building. He and his mortal enemy will kill each other all over again. Well, that's bullshit. Mike startles, but before he can rebuke him, William continues. Wake the hell up. We don't know what happens after death. After death, little children haunt robots and they try to kill me because they think I'm you. You can miss them, sure, but they don't miss you back. They're dead, underground, and they'll hardly shed a tear when you die. Gee, thanks. Listen. Why live your life for ghosts? Live it for yourself. Take everything and more. We deserve the world because we're here, and no one else will give it to us. Come on, Fritz, plausibly. What do you want more than anything in the world? Not to die. No one actually wants to die. Yes. Yes, they do. I want... His head clears for a tiny moment. He wants Evan and Liz back. He wants to hold Jeremy. He wants Mom to tuck him in. He wants Uncle Henry to tell him he's proud. And he wants Dad to be kind. I want to deserve the right to be happy. Okay. I know what we can do about that. William abruptly stands from the couch and offers Mike his hand. When Mike fails to take it, he sighs and fucking slaps Mike across the face. Yay! And it's not William's fault. But the slap reminds him of slaps from his childhood. And he almost starts crying again. Come on, Fritz! William grabs his backpack, empties the contents on the kitchen table, and heads to the kitchen itself, scooping up some miscellaneous items. I think I know precisely why you do not want to be happy. Yeah? Why is that? William smiles mischievously. Because, for your past, you believe yourself beholden to be a hero. Yeah, fuck that. That's ridiculous. He throws open the door, gesturing for Mike to follow along. Not wanting to be left alone, he reluctantly obeys. Let us go be villains. Mike could vomit. Okay, so at least they aren't committing murder. Mike's really equated that with villainy lately, so you can't blame him for thinking William tried to coerce him into stabbing little kids for fun. Intriguingly enough, they are on the college campus. William bids no attention to any of his fellow classmates, clad in long skirts and dress pants, sweaters and suits, some wearing sweatshirts that read, Go Elks! The Elks. Dreadful, I know. Mike feels horribly out of place on a college campus, a place he's never been, so he sticks far too close to William, trembling as the both of them scale the staircases of the main business building. Can I ask you, why Utah, since you're from so far away? William shrugs, his backpack jostling with the movement. One of the best engineering programs in the West. Gave me plenty of money. It's far away from Air Street. I just about live in the ocean to get away from there. But Utah, I know. Trust me. Couldn't have been Cali or Seattle. Luck of the draw, I suppose. Fritz, here. What are we even doing here? Mike demands as the two round the corner of a fifth-floor hallway. William lingers in the hall, whistling inconspicuously, offering a charming smile or two to a duo of girls that walk by and proceed to giggle. Then he glimpses into the nearest room, a slightly ajar door bearing a plaque that reads, Professor Turner. I told you, villainous behavior. He waits for Mike to follow, and after groaning, Mike obeys. Inside the room is an office, bookshelves and an impressive desk. The guy must be important, which is why Mike wants to pass out when William collapses onto the chair, throws his feet up onto the desk, and starts rummaging through his backpack. Nah, Fritz, dear comrade, I would remark that perhaps the most heinous thing one could do is not to give me something that I deserve. Yes? William, Fritz, the bastard gave me a B. A B. Not even with a plus. William scowls, withdrawing some contents from the backpack. Baking soda, food coloring, vinegar, some soap, and plastic bags, and spreading them over the desk. Fritz, you fool, you're supposed to be watching the door. This is ridiculous. Don't be boring, William scolds, and he pours the contents into several of the bags and begins shaking them. All right, come here. Why? Because you are utterly the most miserable man I've ever met, and it is because you adamantly deny yourself any pleasures in life. Could you stop sounding so damn British for 2 minutes? William thinks it over. No. Mike hangs his head and accepts some of the bags from William. Keep shaking the bags. Come on now. Mike obeys, and with the looming threat of Professor Turner walking in at any moment, his hands start to shake. But kinda in a good way. Almost like he's excited? See? There you go. Felonies are completely entertaining, I assure you. You know, if we get caught, I'd get in way more trouble, right? All he has of his identification is the fake license that William made by himself in his bedroom one night. William shrugs and waves off his concerns, to which Mike again groans. Then we should be quick. Gimme. Mike hands him the bags, and William stuffs one in each drawer of the desk, glancing up at the clock. Yeah. Okay, we should run. Right about now. Yep, now seems like as good a time as any. William bolts to the door, and Mike runs closely behind, but soon they are immediately stopped by the back of a man. William smiles as he halts, and then begins inching backward, grabbing Mike by his collar before he can give them away. The two are tiptoeing down the hall by the time the man, Professor Turner, Mike presumes, turns to his office and opens the door. And then an explosion of colorful smoke reverberates throughout the room, coating the professor in the substance. He stares in disbelief at the door. Shit, Mike remarks, and William is uproariously laughing when they turn the corner, rush down the stairs, and evade capture. Shit, Will! Lad, why don't you? We'll give our whole scheme away! William is still laughing by the time the professor's irate voice is screaming down the hallways, and the two of them are long gone. And Mike can't damn believe it, but he's smiling. Yeah, no one's looking. Mike thinks his father is offering him a cigarette, and Mike's lungs have only been partially functioning for the last 3 decades, so he is about to decline. But instead, William has grabbed a joint from his backpack. What? Don't smoke? Since when the fuck does Dad smoke? I'm just surprised you do. Honestly, before the whole affair at Circus Babies, Mike used to be kinda a stoner. He and He sighs. He and Jeremy. There it is. The name a complete thought. He can't believe it. Used to smoke a ton in Jeremy's parents' basement, listening to Queen and the Beatles and Ella Fitzgerald as they got high and did more. But still, Mike can't think about it. He can't really think about the only time in his life when he was truly happy. Really? William grabs a lighter as the two of them walk down the secluded sidewalk. Most people are in church by this time of day. He lights the joint, exhales, and hands it to Mike. What is that? Mike takes it and eyes it cautiously. It has to be poisoned with something he's resistant to, says the cautious, paranoid part of his brain. He narrows his eyes, and at the idiotic idea, he presses the joint to his lips. And the moment it blesses him, he exhales, and is immediately calmer. You're kind of fucking pretentious, William, he says before he can help it, laughing a bit. So I thought you'd think this was the devil's lettuce. William rolls his eyes and snatches the joint back, retorting, "Oh, go fuck yourself, Smith." For a moment, Mike wants to tell him his real name. Of course, he can't, so the two just get high. And before they know it, they're in front of the apartment complex, red-eyed and witlessly chuckling. Why does it smell like skunk in here? Henry asks as he arrives home from church. Mike is sprawled out on the floor, laughing his ass off, and William is burning food in the kitchen, chuckling and failing spectacularly at making a decent meal. Why does it smell like skunk in here? William echoes in a horrendous American accent, to which the both of them start spiraling in laughter once more. Then his eyes light up, as if he's aware that Henry is in the room. Henry, love, come here, he says, nearly a demand, and he stumbles close to Henry and kisses him on the cheek. Henry reddens and shoves him away a bit, because he hasn't even closed the door yet. After he locks it, Mike holds the joint in the air victoriously and gestures it to Henry. He zips his mouth shut. Whoops. He almost said Uncle Henry, and that would have been really fucking bad. Henry, come on. It's not even 3 o'clock, Henry protests, and William is resting his head on his shoulder, chuckling. Henry manages to free himself of William. It smells horrific in here. Did you burn something in the kitchen? I burn everything in the kitchen, William replies with a snort, to which Mike begins laughing loudly once more. Mike can't even think about the possibility of all of this being for nothing. Not when Dad is laughing like a normal damn person, not when Henry is alive and smiling, not when Mike's own lungs are finally full and functioning. It feels real. It feels too real. Like this should have been how it was the entire time. We were bad guys, Henry, Mike informs, coughing sporadically as he does. Really? How? Turner, that prick, William elaborates, and he collapses on the couch, taking the joint from Mike and huffing it himself. Gave me a B. So I blew up his office. William! Well, we did. Joint effort. Mike raises his hand, and William stares at it quizzically. The hell are you doing? Mike rolls his eyes and laughs. Hello, British boy. A high five? What? Don't got those over the pond? Fritz, what are you going on about? Henry asks. Mike pales. Oh. Crap. He hadn't realized that a high five had to have been invented. It's, popular back where I'm from. My friends and I came up with it. He slaps his own hand to demonstrate. Do this. It's for, like, victory. William slaps Mike's hand so hard that it stings. Victory, Emily. You're looking at a couple of winners here. Winners? Mike has never won before. But here, he has. He's won in making Henry and William not loathe each other. He's won in convincing William to go on a date with Clara. He's won at being a mild villain. Maybe William's right. Like he usually is. Mike can't be the hero if he wants to make change. He can't keep trying to save the world and be happy. But with a frown, his happiness does not matter. Lives matter. His happiness cannot usurp that. But here, in the past, spiraling into high-induced laughter with the man who will ruin the world, and the man that will pay most dearly for it, Mike can't think like that. He just thinks, for the first time in a long while, that he is genuinely alive.